I'll continue with my talk. There's a slight, change from the conversation that we had until now. I'm not going to talk about open source or open standard. I'm going to talk about the third part of it, which is, open data, and mostly talk about what does it mean and how does, I'll introduce to a community that does in India. So when you talk about open data related communities in India, there are quite a few. I've listed some of them. Cashless consumer is quite big, and they work with digital payments and stuff. There's Open City, which is run by Urvani, which is a local media organization, civic media organization. Then there's OSM, there's Wikidata, and I work with DataMate, which is volunteers across India. I'm going to talk what we do and what kind of data we work with. Who am I? I am co-founder of DataMate, which is like a community of open data enthusiasts in India. And we've been probably the biggest. We started in 2011, which is probably like 12 years now. And we kind of have a bigger community which has all kinds of people, government, non-government, startups and stuff like that. And this is the biggest thing, right? Why do we exist? There is always a need for existence, right? Like if you're open source community, why do you need to exist? Or open standards community, why do you need to exist? And this is a reason for existence, because most of the times data doesn't exist. You would have probably heard one of the parliamentarians or the ministers saying there was no data about deaths due to oxygen reported. That was the official answer in the parliament. And during the same time, we were working on collecting the data, and at least there were about 682 deaths recorded, deaths due to oxygen, lack of oxygen rather. And these are the cases where the data doesn't exist, and we try to actually do some kind of work to collect the data and produce that and publish it. And even if it exists, it doesn't exist in public domain sometimes, or not in a machine-readable format. For example, this project actually started in 2014, just before the elections then, parliament elections, and it was probably one of the first elections which had a lot of digital participation, like a lot of online things. I think it was just post-Obama first campaign, and there were a lot of things going on, and then there was need of parliamentary constituency boundaries at that point, and it wasn't there anywhere, and most of the things you would get is like actually a PDF copy. And we had to run like an hackathon at that point to actually draw on the map and georeference it and publish it. And sometimes the data exists but doesn't exist in the format we need or not in the public domain, so that's why we exist. And then there is, even if it exists, sometimes it's inaccessible. Like, for example, one of the data sets that we actually do always publish is CPCB VCCR, which is like a pollution control board's air quality data that we scrape and publish in formatted way. Railways data, and then there is a lot of other data sets. If you go to GitHub of DataMate, you would find, which are actually kind of available, but either not accessible in the format that you would need. I mean, I would prefer something very simple, like either a CSV or a SQLite file. So we try to publish in that format, and this is also a reason that we exist. Or if it exists, it can go missing. This happens a lot. If you don't track the data, I think it has happened many times. Within the period of DataMate, there was data about PM Jan Dhan Yojana, which went away. The site went down. It did not come back. And how many times you contact the ministry, didn't come back. Similar happened recently with Hopcoms in Bangalore. If you are from Bangalore, Hopcoms is a society which publishes vegetable and fruit rates every day, and they also have shops. They used to publish fruit rates for like almost 10 years or 15 years. Now suddenly it has stopped. It happens with the customs data. Custom data is very important for measuring import-export prices, who is importing what, and that kind. They used to publish every day. That's gone missing. So we also exist to archive that data. So possibly to make it available in future. And some of it is available on GitHub. Some of them we upload to archive.org after, extracting. So these are the things we do, or how you can contribute also, if you're willing to. Mostly downloading, scraping, doing some RTIs, doing some surveys sometimes. Also, what we do is clean up, like make it machine readable, reproducible code to actually make the raw into, readable format and reproducible code, or, archive it, long-term saving, mostly depend on archive.org for that, or, process it and, publish the code along with the data and stuff like that. This is what we do. We also do some of these things. For example, write about it, comment, send it to, we used to work with data.gov for some of the policy making related to open standards, like publish the maps in either GeoJSON or probably open shapefile and things like that. Also, we do some trainings, mostly for non-tech people, not for tech people. It's mostly, either journalists or people working in nonprofit who want to use the data or want to extract the data from web and things like that. The medium of work is, I think it's probably known to everyone here. We are still very traditional. We stick to email list. We're about 2,400, 500 people on that email list currently. When I think it works out really well compared to another thing because, archives are public. It's indexed by Google. You can search through them. And also there is a RSS feed for the email archive if you don't want to receive an email into your inbox. So it's kind of an open format. It's very useful. And then there is a blog, and of course all the data is on the GitHub, and also on archive.org for just backing up. What's unique about Data Meet? I think we have worked with both government and non-government. Sometimes government also needs help. For example, I think in an economic survey of 2016-17, some of the maps used by the government things were actually the maps from Data Meet community. It goes to say that even the government actually doesn't have access to some of that data, of their own data. I'm going to skip this. One of the things is this is the 11th year we've been in existence. It's probably very long. Our core policy is only this, actually, be nice. Because most of the things people on our email list are non-tech, mostly come from either very basic, Excel skill, or not even Excel skill sometimes. So general policy is just to be nice. That's the only principle that we ask everyone to be. We work in public. That's the second thing. The third thing is, privacy is for people. Publicness is for governments, or accountability is for government. That's general principle that we use whenever we work on any data set. It just makes it easy. Thank you. That's it. If you have any questions, I can answer.
Hello. It was a very interesting talk, but I think most of the work that is done by Data Meet, it seems to be hitting the symptoms of, let's say, government just randomly when they stop providing data. So I'm assuming then it should be really hard for someone from the outside to enforce that the data be made available regularly, or that it doesn't go missing randomly. Is there any work being done there, or what are the difficulties that people face in those efforts?
I actually did not understand the exact question. What was the last part of the question?
So most of the work that Data Meet does, it seems to be hitting the symptoms of government.
Yes, I think we started recently working with Ministry of Rural Development. One of the, we are working with them collaboratively to release the data into public, like the map data, and it's a quite huge data set. And then we kind of got into an MOU with them to work with them. So one of the things is, like, probably after a decade, now we kind of probably moving into the next level where we are probably able to collaborate to release some of the data set. But India is a big country. Not all governments work similar, and different parts of the government work in different way. So sometimes we hit the symptoms. Sometimes we get an opportunity to work before that. One of them is, we are currently working to release the data set. It's already actually out. We're now working on, releasing some videos and training material and stuff, and also looking at how to import that data set into OpenStreetMap or any other platform. So we're working on both sides, but like rightly said, mostly symptoms, dealing with the symptoms has been our work for last 10 years. Hopefully we'll go into the next level in this decade.
Hi, are there any instances where when data went missing, when you guys collected and it ended up being very useful, that you could shed some light on? I found that very interesting.
Yeah, the one is the import-export data. I think it's the old set of data is archived. Lot of that data set was also used by companies to predict import, predict prices, and also see who is importing what kind of things. Also equipments, right? A lot of security people were interested in what kind of equipments come into India from which country and things like that. And that went missing. And that went missing due to a complaint by one of the entities that their data getting misused or whatever. Competition is using my data to see that I am importing and they want to cut me or something like that. So that went missing, actually unfortunate event, because that was a useful data set. And that's archives of that is available. Srinivas, I don't know if he's around. He's the one archived it as part of DataMate that you could see.
So when there are commercial applications like this, like what you said, so how do these commercial entities actually give back to data and get in what form?
They have, there are some non-profits also which have given back. For example, A-Tree is an institution in Bangalore which works with the environment and other things. They actually donated the village maps of Karnataka with help, and we released that data set. That was one of the instances. Not really like a private company has worked with us. Maybe in future if someone is interested. Yeah. Now I think like 10 years, 11 years back when we started, there was not much interest in open data from private companies at that point. There was not much ML or any of that kind of things. Suddenly, in the last 3 or 4 years, I do get inquiries or queries from a lot of commercial entities also from that, from that point of view. I don't know how much we can help them, but there is also queries from them. Hopefully we will have. There's one question here.
Yeah, so how do you archive your data currently? Is it just on GitHub or do you have a separate archive zone? And also, how are you funded? Do you get donations or it's all voluntary?
No, we are not funded. We kind of are registered as a trust in Bangalore because we used to run a one-day conference called Open Data Camp, which used to be like this, but all about open data. We ran it for 5 years. We're not done it during COVID. Only for that, we used to have some donors to donate, for running of the event, because it used to be a free event with 100 rupees entry fee or something like that. Otherwise, everything is volunteer driven. Archiving is mostly done either on GitHub or on archive.org currently. Actually, both. There is parallel. Whatever goes on GitHub also goes on archive.org. I think we're done with that time. Anyway, I'm around. You can catch me anytime you want. Thank you so much.